Bachelor in Paradise, maybe you treated the show strategically.
When you go into it and it becomes a competition, like, I want to compete. Like, you have to compete.
Before reality TV, who was Sean McLaughlin?
I was a guy that was just so focused on like work and building a career.
Your current sales role, are they gonna open to you going on the next show?
They're not gonna find someone to replace me and hire them and train them and get them up to speed on the industry.
What part of like reality TV is real that most people like don't believe?
99% of the time, it's all like genuine reactions.
My wife watches the Mormon Mom Talk. What are your thoughts on recent production?
I actually almost like called Jesse. I was like, dude, is there any way you can bolt down the chairs in the Bachelor Mansion so they can't be thrown at these people?
So are you and TJ brothers or cousins?
Distant relatives.
For someone new going on reality TV, what advice would you give them?
Don't give a what other people think.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Elliott Caldwell podcast on successful DNA. First reality TV star, Bachelor Nation, Mr. Sean McLaughlin. Sean, welcome to the show.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Let's start with, I did my research. Okay, I'm ready. I'm locked in. I do a lot of research because I don't watch The Bachelor. But now I will because I have a friend. Are you going to go on another show? I mean, come on.
Couple. I mean, we'll see. There's
All right.
there's some in the work. I don't know if
All
it'll be Bachelor related, but there's another thing.
Well,
we're
now
working
I'll
on.
watch because I'll watch you on there. So let's start with this. Bachelor in Paradise. A little controversy. Maybe you came out a little maybe too treated the show strategically. What would you say about that? Is that true? Is that not true?
I would say it's true, but I think what's interesting is like when you go into it and it becomes a competition, like I want to compete.
Yeah.
Like you have to compete.
Yeah.
And I feel like some people were still taking that, oh, this is about love and this is about finding our person. And like when $500,000 on the line, I was like, fuck that. Let's go get $500,000. Let's play.
Why not do both?
Can
you do both?
You can totally do both. And I still feel like I was trying to do both, but I grew up watching Survivor. Like I grew up like the old Rupert days of Survivor back in the day where it's cutthroat and like you got to kind of play the game. And I feel like I was trying to play the game and no one else was. And that's why it looks so off on television. But in reality, like if you dangle $500,000 in front of you, like you want to do everything you can to win. I didn't want to leave there and be like, oh man, I wish I did this. I wish I did that. But I still think my strategy was right. Just the wrong people in my corner.
Yeah, I don't care who you are. 500K is 500K.
100%. To what? Sit on the beach, chill, drink, and like if you win 500K. I'm gonna go all out for that.
And who was your girlfriend on the show?
Alicia, yeah.
Okay. You still talk to her?
No, I haven't talked to her in,
When was that?
7 months.
When was that?
We filmed in like May of last year, so May of 25, and then it aired in the summer. But I haven't talked to her probably since September of 25. She moved to LA. So like when we were on the show, we were both living in Tampa. I live in Tampa. She's from Tampa and lived in Tampa. So we get back. Everything's great. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Like, I can't believe I found somebody from the show that lives in my same city. I don't have to travel. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to go visit my sister in LA. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll see you in like a week. And she just never came back. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Yeah. But yeah, she literally just stayed out there, moved out there. I think she's doing good.
And just never came back.
She didn't even get her car. Like she shipped her car out here. Like by the way, I still have like pickleball gear at that place. Like I kind of want it back, but everything's good. I mean, like, yeah, I think she wanted to be out there. Her sister's out there. She's in residency school at USC for plastic surgery. And yeah, it just didn't work out. But at the end of the day, I'd rather have that happen quickly than like get 6 months down the road. And, I didn't feel myself moving to LA or anything like that. So it's for the best.
We'll clip that and we'll make sure we get your pickleball.
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
It was good stuff too. It's like $400 worth of pickleball gear.
Yes. Yeah. So before we dive back into, we'll start from kind of childhood and go to here. What do you like the most about reality TV and then dislike the most about reality TV?
Yeah. What I like the most is the people. Like I've met so many cool people from these shows, like not even just the cast, but like the crew, the producers, the network, and kind of hearing like how people make their living on different sides of whether you're on the camera or off the camera. And I've met had so many great friendships from there. And still keep in touch. Like the first season I did, we have a group chat with probably 15 guys. We took a trip last year to Europe. There was 8 of us running around Europe. Like you do create really good relationships. What I dislike the most, it kind of comes with the territory, but like you have no control over like what is shown or like how you're portrayed in a way. Like you could be the nicest person in the world, But because you do an interview for 30 minutes and they take 5 seconds, they can kind of spin it however they want. So it's kind of tough going through it, knowing that you have to release control over to the network and the editors and the producers. But at the end of the day, like, it's still the relationships and the experiences you have vastly outweigh the negatives of whatever hate you're going to get from like some Nancy in Nebraska that didn't like what you said on television.
And then what's like something like a guy like me, or maybe even someone who, whether it's me or someone who like is addicted to watching The Bachelor, what is something that like no one knows that goes on behind the scenes that maybe is enlightened them?
Yeah. Well, this is a funny thing about like the dates. When you go on a date, they have this like great plate of food in front of you. Like when I was on a date, they had this massive tomahawk steak, like baked potato. We don't eat that. That's been sitting out for like 6 hours. Okay. So like the entire time you're on a date, I'm just thinking, man, I kind of want that steak right now, but you can't eat it. We eat before. It doesn't look good on camera when you're eating and talking with your mouth full, but like you don't eat. The other part is like those clips you see, like those are 30 to 40 minute interviews when you're doing it. So like you're seeing a soundbite and that is just could be completely taken out of context, but they can put it into a certain spot. It's pretty interesting.
How do people, one thing I've always wondered as I'm like walking by it, as my wife's watching it, how do people just not continually getting hammered drunk? Do they limit alcohol?
They do limit alcohol, but it's 3 drinks an hour for a long period of time. Like you could get hammered if you want to. It's happened like once or twice when I've been filming where, you just get in a certain situation and next thing you know, you're like, oh my God, I'm actually way too drunk to be on camera right now. The last one I did, there was like not as many limits with alcohol. Like they kind of just let you do whatever and it was a lot more chill. And I was really fucked up one of the nights and I woke up, I was like, did I do anything like that is going to be terrible to watch back? And everyone's like, no, you're good. I'm like, okay, good. Yeah. But you can tell, like you hear it back in the voice and you're like, oh man, I'm so drunk in this scene. Yeah.
Let's back up. All right. So you're 29 years old now. You're from New York?
New York. Yeah.
Okay.
Upstate.
So born and raised upstate New York?
Yeah.
What was childhood like? What was growing up like? Obviously your dad's involved in politics, but mom, siblings, what were things like?
Yeah, so I grew up in a really small town called Schaghticoke, New York. It's just outside of Albany, Troy area. And it was super rural. Like I grew up with a buffalo farm on my street and I had, my mom's got 6 other siblings and they all lived within like a mile of my house. So I grew up with an older brother, Dan, but I also had 20 plus cousins that were all older than me. So I was one of the youngest. So we just had huge family get-togethers all the time. It was really great growing up. But, when you're in such a small town, everybody knows everybody. You don't really know what's out there until you leave and break out. But
you broke out, that's for sure.
I broke out, yeah, which is crazy. But yeah, it was just one of those things where I grew up in an amazing environment with my parents, and my dad was into politics. That wasn't until later. Like my entire childhood, he had pretty tough career choices. So he was a pilot, loved flying planes, was flying for U.S. Air. 9/11 happens, gets laid off. He's like, all right, I'll try my hand in mortgages. So then 2008 happens. Like everything he chose kind of was a bad situation, but it definitely taught me that you have to have perseverance and like no matter how much you get knocked down, you have to keep going for it. And he ended up into politics and he's been doing that for the last like 15 years or so. But it was great. I mean, I was just playing sports growing up, like had my friends and just would ride my bikes everywhere. It was kind of like a normal like American childhood, I would say.
Was baseball the main sport?
Hockey was the main sport. Okay. Baseball was what I feel like I could have played in college.
Yeah.
But I grew up playing hockey. My dad played hockey in college a little bit for Arizona State. And then he had me on skates when I was like 3 years old.
Arizona State has a hockey team?
They did. My dad, so they're actually D1 now, but they started it back in the 80s and it was a club team and they used to just sling beer at their games. They would have a bunch of the students come to the games and then it's progressed over the last 20, 40 years now. And now they're like a top 20 program in the country, which is kind of crazy. But I was a hockey player. Like that was my favorite thing to do growing up. Used to travel all over the upstate and like the Northeast playing hockey, Canada. And then as I got older and like baseball started to become more of a thought process into college, that's when I kind of focused on that. But I played hockey all the way through high school and then, haven't really touched my skates since. But
and what brought you to University of Tampa?
The weather and the girls, right? Like I grew up in a small town. So I was like, I don't want to spend winters inside a gym playing baseball. Let me go down south. So I had an uncle that lived down in Tampa and I took a trip, went saw St. Leo, went saw Eckerd. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. Like there's a beach on campus in Eckerd. I'm like coming from upstate New York, this is heaven. And then my last visit was University of Tampa, and I walked on their campus. I'm like, yeah, this is the place I want to go. Ended up playing baseball down there, and then I was dating a girl that was living in New York City at the time. And when I got down to Tampa, I was like pretty good in New York, really good fielder, was okay at hitting. I got down to Tampa, I was like, oh my God, these guys are another level. Like I wasn't going to see the field. So was dating that girl, might as well like transfer back out, did a year in JUCO, and then found myself at Fordham in New York City. So it was short-lived at Tampa, but here I'm back in Tampa now. So everything comes back around.
Prerequisite to go to University of Tampa. You're from the Northeast.
Yeah.
So it's a requirement.
It is. Yeah. I don't think I had a class with anybody from Florida when I was at University of Tampa. It was you're either from New York, New Jersey, or Massachusetts, and there's no in between.
Yeah, that's a inside joke with me and Victoria. She went there, and I was like, she's from New York. I was like, is everybody from New Jersey or New York that goes to University?
Basically, yeah.
So post college, Fordham. Did you end up graduating from Fordham?
I did graduate from Fordham, yeah.
And then what'd you graduate major in?
Finance with a minor in economics.
Cool. Which is nothing related to sales, software sales.
No, nothing. So how it kind of came about is when I was at Fordham, I ended up interning for Barstool Sports. And like back then, this was OG Barstool days, like before the pen investment, before any of this, there was like 30 people in the office.
What was Dave like?
Dave was the man, hard boss. Like, he's the man, but you didn't want to get on his bad side. So I feel like I was just always walking on eggshells around him and just didn't want to become the topic of like a blog or like a tweet or anything like that at that time. But he wrote a couple blogs about me, which were pretty funny. But he was cool. Things. He basically said I was too hot to work there. The name of the blog was "Who the hell hired this smoke show intern with a face from the gods?" And like, I thought it was a joke. Like when he wrote that, we were filming something and my phone started blowing up. It was all my friends from back home be like, oh my God, Dave wrote a blog about you. I'm like, yes, this is amazing. And I read it and I was like, this is funny, but I actually think he's serious. Like, I don't think he wants me to work there. But when I got there, I was starting working with the sales guys a little bit. They were selling all these brand deals for like Budweiser and Coors Light and all these alcohol brands. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Like they're just talking with this brand and, I feel like I'm pretty good at communicating. And they were making money on just selling activations for Barstool. So that's where I got into sales. And then I got approached by a software company. And my cousins had done software sales and they were doing really well. I was like, oh, you might as well just, if I'm living in New York City, I want to make decent money where I can actually like live and enjoy life there. You're not scrambling around when you're right out of college. So I got a job slinging software and, kind of been doing that ever since.
You're still doing that now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Who you work for now?
It's a company called Humosh. We do voice AI agents. So we connect a voice AI agent into a company's telephone system and basically have them handle inbound calls.
How does that work with reality TV?
Doesn't well.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate where like the companies that I've been working for when I've done reality TV were very supportive. Besides for the first one I did was for Paycom, which, to be fair, I asked for like literally 3 months off in a row to go film TV. So I get why they said no. And they were like supportive up until the point they're like, yeah, first season you can go have fun. The HR director was a huge fan of the show. And I think that she told me I can go before she actually got it approved by the CEO and like their executive. So I was gone filming my first season of The Bachelorette. And I had no idea this was going on in the background, but there was like high level executive meetings with like a Fortune 100 company about whether or not they were going to fire me for going on reality TV. So I come back, I knew none of this and I had made President's Club. So I'm taking my trip to Hawaii. I'd just taken a month off, another trip to Hawaii, let's go. And I come back from that, I get the call to go on Paradise. So then I reach back out to my executives like, hey, I got an opportunity to go on another show. They're like, you just took 30 days off. We paid for you to go to the 4 seasons in Oahu, Hawaii. And now you want another 30 days off? They're like, we can't do that. I was like, yeah, that's fair. So I went off and did that. Yeah.
Is that how it normally is with like other cast members?
Yeah, most people have to leave their jobs to go on the show. If you're lucky, you have a company that's supportive, or it's a smaller company where they're like, yeah, obviously, like we're not going to hire someone and train someone within the 30 days you're gone, so it makes sense. But a lot of the companies don't, give people the time off.
So did you find The Bachelor or did it find you?
They found me, and it was kind of all by chance, which is part of the reason where like you just got to say yes to things. You never know what's going to happen. But I was working at Paycom. My coworker was a huge...
How old are you at this point?
25.
Okay.
They reached out to me when I was 24, but she was a huge Bachelor fan, and she was like, you would be so good for the show. I was the only single guy in the office, which kind of sucks. Like all my coworkers had families, they were having kids, they were going on dates. I'm just sitting there like dialing for dollars basically. But she's like, you would be so good in the show. So she reached out, submitted the application, and they probably get 20,000 applications a year. Like there's no chance you get reached out to. Somehow one of the casting producers saw my Instagram, like, oh, you might be a good fit, called me, and it was an LA number. And at this point I knew nobody from LA. And I was like, hello. And they're like, oh, this is so-and-so from The Bachelorette. We want to talk about you being on the show. And I literally thought it was fake and they were trying to steal my like credit card information. And then one thing led to another, and it was an insane process, and got cast and showed up to the mansion. It was like so surreal. Like, this is crazy. There's 150 cameras around. There's all this casting crew. You kind of like don't know how to act at first, because up until that point I'd never been on camera. And then it's just so far in your face. Like we're having this conversation. There's a camera here, a camera there, a camera there. Like within 3 hours, you're just so immune to it. And then you settle down and just become yourself.
Yeah. And the mansion's in LA?
Yeah, Agora Hills.
Okay.
So like a little bit outside of it. And everyone thinks like it's so luxurious. Like it's the Bachelor mansion, it's iconic. That thing internally is such a piece of shit.
Really?
When we got there, I was so excited, and they show us to our room, and I was in a room with bunk beds. There's 14 guys in one bedroom. I've season before, a guy had like fallen off the bunk bed and hit his head. So I'm like, I'm getting the bottom bunk. Like, I don't care. I'm not falling off, smacking my head. And then we get there the first day, gas gets cut off. Like there was a gas leak, so I had to shut off the gas. So we're going through, we have no heat. We have no hot water. And I thought this was like part of like their test to kind of make you crazy. And it really, apparently it wasn't. But yeah, we were all going insane. Like we took cold showers for like a week there.
And then you take trips, obviously.
Yeah.
So where'd you go your first season?
We went to Oceanside, California, Skamania, Washington, New Orleans. And then I got sent home in New Orleans right before hometowns. And then my other 2 seasons of Paradise, we were in Mexico, like Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And then Costa Rica, which was both, amazing
So
places.
that's maybe one of the pros to going on Bachelor?
Traveling around? Yeah. Because when you travel, you actually get really good like accommodations. Okay. And most of the time, like 90% of the time, you're just hanging out with your boys, drinking. Like the bar opens at noon and you're just kind of having beers, talking, shooting the shit. And you're at these amazing hotels, traveling around. It's kind of like you feel like a rock star almost. It's pretty cool.
So obviously one interesting question I had was, your dad's been through like a bunch of different trades and jobs, but they're probably not two different things than politics and reality TV. How has he handled it all and reacted?
Yeah, well, I think that having my dad in politics definitely like helped me out in navigating like life after reality TV. Because politics is one of those things is like 50% of the people are going to love you and 50% of the people are going to absolutely hate you. And like growing up, I would have news articles and like, the local newspaper, people tweeting out, like talking shit about my dad. So you kind of see that. And I saw my dad just be like, have the thickest skin. He's like, I don't care. Like, what are they going to say? Like, I don't know them. Who cares? So then I kind of took that approach too. When you start going on, you put yourself out there on TV, and next thing you know, your DMs are popping off with people that are like, you suck, you're ugly, like your hair sucks, like your smile sucks. And like, if you don't have that thick skin, you can really let it crush you. But I was just like, I've had newspaper articles talking about how my dad's a piece of shit since I was like 12. So I'm like, fuck that. This is amazing. Like I can deal through this.
What's the meanest thing anyone's ever said to you?
Oh man, there's a lot. One dude told me that, hey, you live in Tampa. Next time you drive over the Skyway Bridge, fucking drive off it. I was like, that's actually good. You did your research on it. That was pretty good.
That's funny. Before reality TV, who was Sean McLaughlin?
I was like, I want to say I'm still a lot of the same person. And I think that was one of the things I've really tried to focus on is like, just be to your core the same. I was a guy that was just so focused on like work and building a career. Like when I was living in New York City selling software, I was 23, fresh out of college, like, making decent money for a 23-year-old in New York. And like, I didn't go on a single date. I would literally just fall asleep on my laptop at night, go to the office 7 to 7, come home, eat dinner, open my laptop and just work until I fell asleep. And I always had the taking it from sports is like, you have like a goal and like, you have to take your steps you need to take to achieve that goal. And my goal was to get promoted to become an account executive at that point. And I was like, how do I become an account executive? Well, I have to set X amount of meetings that qualify. How do I set X amount of meetings? I have to have enough people to call and like reach out to. So like my whole life was just focused on that, like nonstop.
And then now you're setting your appointments and or researching.
Yeah, I would just go on LinkedIn and I would go down a rabbit hole of people that might be a good fit for this marketing technology. And then COVID happened and I was like, I can do all this, but I can do it in Tampa. So why don't I move down here? And then I got approached by Paycom. And Paycom is one of those unique companies where it really is sink or swim. And if you swim, you're going to do really well. I had a training class of 85 people. And a year after that, there was maybe 5 people left. But those 5 people were, clearing over 300 grand like a year into their career. So it was one of those things where you just have to like put your head down and grind and like eventually you're going to take enough punches where you're going to be able to kind of punch back and you kind of figure out what you want to do at that company. And if you succeed, you make a lot of money. So like my whole life was focused on that. It's like, how do I make as much money as possible where I can like live and experience life and play a bunch of golf and, go out to dinner and not worry about my credit card, anything like that. So that was me prior to the show.
And then your current sales role, are they going to be more open to you going on the next show? What's up, you guys? I wanted to introduce to you our done-for-you Airbnb investing service called BNB Turnkey that has massive tax implications. It's basically an investing service that allows you to invest in cash-flowing Airbnbs and not do any of the work. It's best explained in 3 phases. Number 1, we find, analyze, and underwrite the property. In phase 2, we handle all the interior design and construction. And then phase 3, we manage the property on the back end. The best part is most of our clients qualify for the short terminal loophole of the IRS tax code. This allows for average clients to write off over $200,000 in depreciation on their tax bill. For more information, click the link in the description to connect with our team. As always, thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of the episode.
I think so. I think I'm in a unique position with my company where it's like, they're not going to find someone to replace me and hire them and train them and get them up to speed on the industry in the 30 to 45 days it takes to film a show.
It's only 30 days to film a show.
Yeah. You get so much content. You film 24/7. Like we do 10 episodes normally. They could do 40.
So you go from not knowing each other to engaged in 30 days.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, not me. I didn't get engaged, but like some other people. Yeah.
Not yet anyways.
Not yet. I think I'm done with the dating. Like the next show I do is going to be it's going to be much different than like Bachelor in Paradise or The Bachelor. I think there's going to be flares and elements of it, but like the one that we're talking about right now, it's going to be completely not romantic at all. I mean, there's going to be some romance just because when you get Bachelor people in a room, that tends to, go back to what you know. But I think it's going to be a lot more, interesting, more of my vibe on like what I would want to project out there and also what I would want to watch. So I think they'll be supportive and it should be a fun journey.
So is this a secret of coming or?
Yeah, it's like not even, we're actually like in the process right now. It's pretty not announced yet at all. We're still actually trying to figure out like, hey, who's we? The production company and stuff like that.
And you're working with them to do it?
More so like kind of getting in the loop with them. Like they
like casting side?
Yeah, they like approached a bunch of us and we're like, we have this idea. Like, what do you think? Do you want to be involved in it? And then right now it's like, all right, where are we going to shop this around?
That's cool.
Yeah. Cause I think it's, a really good idea. I'm shocked that no one's thought of it before. And the company that we're working with, like they've done a bunch of like really successful shows. So I think it's going to get bought up and, produced. It's just, we're in that beginning stages now. Yeah.
What part of like reality TV is real that most people like don't believe?
All of it's like real in a sense. And what I mean by all of it's real is when you're filming, 99% of the time, it's all like genuine reactions. But what people don't realize is like that environment that's been created is not real. Like it is all meticulously produced by like the producers and like putting yourself into situations where you're talking about the same things over and over again. You have little sleep. It's almost like this bubble. So you get like real reactions in the time. But on the, like when you watch it back, everyone's like, how did that even happen? How could someone react that way? It's like, well, you're in such an unreal environment that you kind of just react whatever feels naturally. I think what most people don't realize is if you don't see me talking, like if you don't see the words coming out of my mouth, let's say you see the back of my head or something like that, there's a chance that audio is not from that moment in time.
Oh, that's
they like put it in. Yeah, it's pretty. So that was one of those things where when I watch the show back, I see it for the first time just like everybody else. Like I have no idea what is going to be shown or like how it's going to be portrayed. And they try to give you a little heads up. But most of the time, the guy giving a heads up is like not on the mark, or they changed it after he gave you the notes. So it's a new experience for me also.
What's like the biggest like what the hell moment that you didn't even know was said by you or by you?
So the first season I did Bachelorette in the promo. So like after you film, you have 3 months until it comes out, 4 months. And like, you're so excited, right? It's your first time on television. You know, it's such a new experience. You're like hanging on every little clip that comes out from the show. So they released like the season promo, and it's like me, like literally my audio, my voice saying like, this dude needs to get the fuck out. And I was like, I know I never said that in that moment. Maybe I said it at a different time, but they played it like the first night. Like I didn't even know the guy's name at that point. So then they put that in the promo that they kind of clipped out. There's another one that was like, had Charity be like, Sean's so cocky, needs to go home. But it was just like spliced up words. Like she never said that. And they put it in the promo and stuff like that. So it's one of those like Franken-bited clips where you're like, oh man. Like,
kind of messed up.
Yeah. But then my mom's like, what do you mean she's telling you so cocky? I'm like, Mom, that like didn't happen. It's just like, you know, they're trying to promote the show.
Yeah.
She's like, oh no.
What have you learned about like modern dating since going through The Bachelor?
Yeah, I think it's really tough to date after The Bachelor. In terms of modern dating, you know, I've been on, you know, a handful of dates since the show, and it's always interesting to see how some people navigate the fact that you've been on television, or if they look you up, they've seen you like make out with other people. Yeah. Some people like bring it up and are very curious about the experience. Like, why would you do that? Some people like don't bring it up, and then you find out later that they knew all about it. But I've kind of learned just to be very authentic to yourself. And one of the things about going onto a show where you date the same guy or date the same girl, you date the same girl as 25 other guys, is you kind of feel like in that moment you have to like force a connection, because like that's the sole reason of the show. Yeah. So it kind of taught me in like dating in the real world, like be yourself, be authentic. And like if someone's attracted to that, or you guys are vibing with your authentic self, that's when you get the most meaningful relationships. Don't put on an act because of the cameras or because you want to get airtime or anything like that. Same thing with dating, like just be yourself. If like you don't want to be stuck with the wrong person anyway, so it might as well just be yourself.
Do you ever catch yourself like, wait, cameras aren't around?
No, when you first come off the show, it's like weird because the first thing you do when you wake up when you're filming is like put on a mic. Okay. So like the couple days afterwards, when you're so ingrained in just like going to get it mic'd up, like you wake up, you're like, oh, my mic's not here. Like I don't need to do it.
And I'm guessing there's a lot of times just like you and the boys hanging out on the show, right? I mean,
it's 90% of it. Yeah. That's why it was so fun. People are always like, how can you be friends with the guys that are dating the same girl? In reality, it's like they become your closest friends because like you're just hanging out, talking shit with the boys. It's so fun. Like you would get asked to go on a date and like, yeah, you're gonna go on the date, but in your mind, you're like, damn, it's really fun.
And everything's paid for, all the food's just like having a big party.
Yeah, you go like we went
working out.
Yeah. One of the dates we went on, it was like, in the bayou of Louisiana, and we went like a gator tour, and we were like eating crawfish. It was like super fun. And then some other ones weren't as fun. They were more like, you know, competitive and physical, but it's always fun just hanging out with the guys, and that's why we still keep in touch.
Did you ever have to learn, like, I guess I'm assuming that being on a show like The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, that there has to be a more vulnerable side publicly. Was that hard to be vulnerable publicly?
Yeah, you know, it's weird because when you're going on a date in the normal world, you're not like dumping your trauma on person like the first time you meet. But I feel like in the Bachelor world, it's almost like teed up for you to do that, and you only get so much time with a person, so you have to like find a way to connect with them or like open yourself up pretty quickly. But I never thought of myself as like a victim in any sense. Like I never like thought, oh, woe is me that this happened in my life. And I've had some crazy shit happen, but I never like used that as like an excuse. So like opening up and like being vulnerable, like before the show and even now, it's like it happened, whatever, we move on from it, but I don't like harp on it. I don't think that it's like a negative in a way. Like it's just my life, and like how you move on from that. It's like really what matters in that situation. But of course, like it's much easier and much better for TV when you have like these traumatic events happen, and it's like, oh, this affected me this way. So you kind of have forced to talk about it.
And who was the Bachelorette when you were on?
Charity Lawson.
Okay, did she get engaged?
She did. She's still engaged. They're getting married next year, I believe, pretty soon. To a good friend of mine, Dot. So like we're all from that season, we're all so close. They're doing great. We spent Vegas together, or we were spent New Year's together in Vegas this year. We had like a bunch of guys from the show. We had a blast.
Is that awkward? Like they're engaged, but the guys are around who she's kissed and.
No, you know, the first time we hung out, I was like, I don't know how this is gonna go, but Dot and her fiance is like the man, so secure. Like, he's like such a good person where he created such great relationships with me and a bunch of other guys from the show where he's like, well, these are my friends now. So like, I obviously want them involved in our life. And Charity's like off camera, even on camera, so chill, like so funny. Like it's kind of fun to laugh at now. And everyone's like, oh, how does that work? And it's like, we don't even like think about it.
When was that recording?
March and April of 2023.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
been
been
engaged that long?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, like you got to realize they met in March 23. So it's like, true. You know, and they're trying to take it on a more normal timeline to get married. But like everyone, they've been doing so well. And yeah it's going to happen. So,
I mean, Bachelor Nation, don't kill me. But like, do people like, does it usually work out or does it usually not work out?
Recently, I don't know. It depends on the person. So like there was a stretch where Zach Shallcross, Charity Lawson, Joey Grazadeh, they all got engaged and they're all still together. And then there's, you know, it goes through ups and downs, I would say. The likelihood of you finding your person on a television show where the producers handpicked people and there's 25 people, that's like very low. But it can work and like it has worked, but you also can't expect it to work. Like it's, you know, it's tough.
Yeah. So my wife watches the Mormon Mom Talk.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So what are your? I don't know the drama. What are your thoughts on the recent production that didn't make it? I guess?
I hope like I actually almost like called Jesse. I was like, dude, is there any way you can bolt down the chairs in the Bachelor Mansion so they can't be thrown at these people? Yeah. Like, I don't know. I think that it's tough for me because like I think they knew about it. They knew about this like, you know, domestic violence dispute. But also like I wanted to watch good television. I think if you have somebody that's naturally in a way messy, polarizing. Polarizing. I think it'd be fun. Like, they already spent the money filming it and watching it. Like or filming it and producing it and editing it. Like why not just like put it out there and like people can react the way they can. I don't know, that like whole world, like the Mormon wives world is nuts. Like to me, like they do some crazy shit, but they all seem like have mutual friends. And they all say they're great people. Yeah. They're just polarizing in a way.
Yeah. Maybe that's just a piece of the production.
Yeah. I mean, I would listen if they said, hey, you want to go back on and like Miranda's gonna be the Bachelorette, sign me up. I'll fucking go back on.
But I thought you were done with The Bachelor.
I mean, I can make exceptions for certain people. Yeah.
Who else would you make exceptions for?
Miranda would be one. Madison Beer, if she ever, you know, gets rid of Justin Herbert, which would be, you know, a bad move on her part. Yeah. We actually, I went on a date with like Justin Herbert's ex, and I was like, making fun of myself to my boys. I'm like, hey, this poor girl was dating Justin Herbert. And now she's going on a date with me. Like that is such a downgrade.
Oh, I don't know. Come on. You're good, dude. What's your like? I mean, obviously we all have regrets. What's your biggest regret in reality TV? In reality TV, I would say there was a part of me at first where you start caring and like being hooked on what other people think about you. Yeah, and like that was really tough going from, you know, not a nobody, but like I wasn't on television. So like I wasn't well known throughout the country or the world. I still don't feel like I am. But there is a part of you when you start getting these like hate comments that you start letting it eat at you a little bit. And then it starts dictating what you do. Like, for example, like I think like messing around on social media and creating like funny skits are like cool. And like you make these videos and I think it was just an outlet for me. But like you'd get bad responses from people and you're like, oh man, should I make this? Should I post this? And like I wish I never even like gave them a second thought about like what to create or like how I should act or how they should have an opinion of me. Because in reality, like I have my friends and family and, you know, that's all that matters. With the world, you know, being super involved in social media and artificial intelligence, how do you see the future of reality TV?
You know, I think it's going to get back. I believe reality TV is going to go back to what it was initially. So if you think about like the Jersey Shore and like how captivating that was to people, and it's because they're real humans that do funny, outlandish, and just like dramatic shit all the time. And then even like the old days of The Bachelor, like it was a lot of like romance, but there's also like these crazy people that get cast on these shows. And I think like when people watch reality TV, they want it to be almost a little bit nostalgic in a way, but they also want to like connect with those individuals. So I think it's going to go back to a lot more shows where it's like, you know, not even a plot. Like The Bachelor has dating involved. Like Jersey Shore was just them hanging out and like filming the interactions, hanging out. Summer House, the same thing that's going pretty popular now. It's like just people being their authentic selves and let whatever happens going to happen and try to be less produced than these outlandish things where like producers throw stuff in the mud. I think it's to be a lot more just, hey, we'll get a group of people that are interesting together. We'll film it. We'll make a television show. And if it connects with people, it connects.
I never thought about it like that. I've always thought about it. I just see like random stuff about how like in this world of social media and people being on their phones more, how sports are about to blow up.
Yeah.
Because people was like, that's the one thing that AI can't replace. Like you're never going to watch robots playing baseball.
100%.
Right? And so the future of sports, or if you can, whatever you can bet on in the future of sports, bet on it. But yeah, I guess reality TV is kind of the same thing. It's like it's more authentic, more true, more real.
Yeah.
Even though it's reality. Like, I mean, exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Like real TV.
If you think about the ones that like have a long shelf life, like the Survivors, the Bachelors, the Jersey Shore that like had a huge run there. Like there's not a lot of like produced elements to it. It's all just like people naturally reacting to what they're in. Like Survivor was so captivating because you put all these people in a deserted island, but it's so primal in a way. Yeah. It's like, hey, how are you going to be able to feed yourself? How are you going to be able to build a fire? And like that just connects with people in a way. I don't know why it does, but it does. And I think it's going to get much more back to less produced reality TV and just like more authentic interactions that people can connect with.
You remember the Survivor where the guy faked his grandma's death? Did you see
that?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Wait, yeah, that's like the craziest story.
Well, he was like, what was it? He was like to get one of the like meals or something.
I think it was like the immunity idol or something like that. It's like, oh, my grandmother died. I should have pulled that out of the bag for the Paradise thing. Maybe they would be, grandma died. Yeah. They've been dead for a long time, but they did die.
I'm not lying.
Yeah. So like, oh man, you don't vote me out. My grandma died. Yeah. But that's like, but that's funny. Like you were still talking about that how many years later. And like, that's like a crazy, experience of it.
If you had to choose any of the reality TV shows you've been on to do it again, which one would you choose? Like which season, which...
I would go back, not from like a romantic element, but just from the people, like Charity season and The Bachelorette. Like those were some of like the best, funniest, like good guys that you could be involved with. And we still keep in touch for a reason. Like I would go back and just not even have a romantic element, just hang out with the boys all day. Like they were the best.
If you were the producer or the owner of The Bachelor, what are like 2 or 3 things that you would do different?
I would promote your cast more, and I would have other shows not involving around dating that your cast can be a part of, because there were so many interesting and funny and like, in my opinion, like stars that would like literally blow up.
That would be a good question, but obviously you've thought about this question before.
Oh yeah. Because we've like sat down and like, like, what would we do differently? And like, if you had, look at like what TJ is doing with, After the Villa right now, right? It's a show that's not Love Island anymore. It's just them interacting afterwards. And I feel like if you did that within the Bachelor world, it would be pretty successful. Or just do something that's different. Do a competition show. Yeah. And they used to do that with like Winter Games and things like that. I just think that you have a limited amount of time with these people that are super talented and funny and outgoing. And why not use it as much as you can? They almost kind of hide you in the background a little bit and say, oh, we have another cast coming in. Like, thank you for putting yourself out there, but like, go fuck yourself, essentially. Yeah.
So are you and TJ brothers or cousins?
Distant relatives. Yeah. People think we look alike. We do have like an element, like our hair is pretty similar. Yeah. We have a funny story, but what was crazy is when he first went on Love Island, like we both lived in Tampa. I didn't know him yet. But I was getting tagged in like his Love Island post, like, oh, this guy looks like you. And then Love Island blows up and now everything's like, oh dude, you look like TJ. And I was like, dude, I've done 3 television shows, you know? But he's like such a good dude, but I think we're cousins at the end of the day.
We went to a Lightning game. He's a very good dude.
Yeah.
Just down to earth, super normal.
Super humble.
Yeah.
And like I've been around it enough where like you still see people that like blow up really quickly and it changes them. I didn't know TJ before all this, but like he's a really humble, like you could tell it hasn't like really affected him too much.
I was telling you before the podcast, but we went to the Lightning game and I didn't realize like, rightly so. I don't watch Love Island. Probably a good thing maybe. But I didn't realize the like star power he had, I guess. And people were coming up like crazy to get pictures. Yeah. Mainly like high school, like college girls. Yeah. But I was like, dude, I didn't even know that you were famous.
Yeah. It's when you go on, and reality TV is interesting because it's yourself. You're not an actor, right? You're not playing a part. At least most people aren't.
Besides you on Bachelor and Paradise.
Multiple times. I had 3 different acts, but I think what's interesting is when people are watching it, they feel like they know you. Like the people that come up to me and say hi, like, oh my God, I watched you on, TV, like they know you. I've been at events where, for me, like Johnny Manziel, like I grew up watching him play football, and people were coming up to like the Bachelor people asking for photos, and I'm like, dude, Johnny Manziel and like Shawn Mendes are like right there, like they're actually celebrities, but people feel really comfortable going and like coming up to us. Joey, who's the Bachelor, came to town back in 2024, like right after his season aired. We went to a Lightning game, and like they had to get security to move us because everyone was just coming down in the section asking Joey for a photo. It was nuts. It was down by the glass where it was like, you know, honestly, it was worse seats because you couldn't see the other side of the ice, but they put us down in the glass with like security. But thank you for the Lightning for that, because it was like kind of annoying when you're like people are just coming down, like people behind us were getting pissed, people in front of us were getting pissed. But yeah, the star power they have is crazy. It's another level.
For someone new going on a reality TV, what advice would you give them?
Be authentic. Like, don't go with any expectations of how you're going to be perceived, and just really be as true to yourself as you possibly can. Because at the end of the day, for you to be successful on television, you got to be able to connect with the audience. You want to be authentic. You want the people watching it at home to recognize you. Like, oh, that's Sean. Like, he totally would do that if there wasn't cameras around. And then just like, don't care. Like, go into it and just be authentic, and don't give a fuck what other people think. Because you're just going to go crazy researching yourself on Google and Reddit and like looking at all the comments. Like, who cares what they think?
Yeah.
You know?
We're May 13th recording this, 2026. What's your day-to-day look like these days?
It's pretty interesting.
You got a dog, right?
I have a dog. Yeah. He's the most spoiled thing in this world. I got a French bulldog named Bane, who all he does is just wants to like be pet and cuddled at all times. So most of the time it's wake up, let the dog out, go to the gym. I'm like, have to go to the gym every day. I'm not lifting every day, but going to the gym just to get some sort of physical activity. And then it's basically just hopping on calls with my AI company and trying to sling some voice AI technology to businesses. And then a lot of golf when I can. Like, the weekends are all golf and going out. And, you know, you'll see me out in Tampa. I'll be at Predalina, or if I'm feeling a dive bar, the dog or patio. It's pretty much back to normal before the show. And then, you know, we're working on some stuff that's going to throw that for a loop. I'm actually going up to New York for 3 months this summer. And this just happened randomly, where I'm just like, it's going to be hot down here. Let me go play golf up in New York and hang out, go to the Hamptons, and just have fun.
Have you met Jonathan Odom yet?
No, I don't think I have.
So Freezer Tarps, the Chetty Show.
Oh, yeah.
He's on there. He plays a lot of golf locally. You'd like him a lot. I'll connect you with him.
Yeah.
He's a cool dude.
He's not Freezer Tarps, right? No, that's Vandy.
That's Chetty, but he's on the podcast. He's like one of the hosts. On
okay,
podcast.
Cool. Yeah, you have to connect us. We'd love to play
dude.
with him.
He just came on. We just released his episode 2 Fridays ago. Great story. He played football at Florida. He's funny.
Yeah.
He's got some crazy stories.
I'll have to take a listen to it. I'll listen on the way back.
So what's next for Sean?
Hopefully another show. Honestly,
will that start coming together and coming out, you think?
It probably won't come out until 2027. I think like filming will probably take place at the end of this year. Even if this doesn't come to fruition, like I want to do another show that's not dating involved, but more like competition. Like I would love to go on and do a show like Traders, or any of the other competition shows, whether it's Survivor or Amazing Race. So I think I'm going to start putting myself out there more to like get cast for these things. And what's unique is once you've been in reality TV, all those producers from the shows, they go work other shows. They're all contractors. But I think in the next year, we'll hopefully have another show coming out and like have something that's a little bit more consistent. Like The Bachelor is amazing and it's so fun, but they're kind of one-offs. And like I was lucky enough to do 2 seasons of Bachelor in Paradise, but that's not really the case for a lot of people. So finding something that's a little bit more consistent, where I know that I'm filming this time of year every single year. I mean, I think it's just so fun to be yourself and like be on camera and like make people laugh. Like I love that. So hopefully another show soon.
It's so funny where like, it's interesting in life where like me and you couldn't be more different than like where we are in life.
Yeah.
Where I got the 6-year-old, the 4-year-old, the girl coming, 14 chickens, the business, the 3 dogs. But like still have a lot of like mutual respect for like, the success of each person, but it's still different.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Totally. I also feel like there's so much with social media, people get trapped in like the comparison a lot. And they compare to like how successful someone else is. And what I think that does for a lot of people is it stops you from celebrating other people's success. Yeah. And like, I feel like the people that I have in my life and like the connections I have, like I'm rooting for everyone to win. You know, I don't get upset or jealous when someone else like wins in life. They sell a big deal and they make a bunch of money. Like that's awesome to me. And I feel like social media, you just compare yourself so much where it starts to eat away, where it's like you stop celebrating the wins of the people in your network and you start like comparing yourself.
I feel the same way, a little different. I think about it a little different, where one of my biggest like goals in life is to be the best version of myself.
Yeah.
Like the best CEO, the best husband, the best dad, the best, healthy version of Elliott. But I'm also like pulling for people to be the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
So the best version of Sean and the goals that he has from himself, like I'm pulling for that.
Yeah.
And whether it's you who I just met or my deep friends.
Yeah.
Like, with the podcast being on successful DNA, I like to end the podcast with kind of the similar question each time. Whether success you've had in reality TV, in sales, or seeing your dad's success, or any of your friends' success, whatever it may be, what are like two or three non-negotiables that kind of have to happen to be successful from a DNA standpoint, like inside of someone?
Yeah, I think it's like the perseverance, like the no quit attitude. And I feel like you have to be able to go through life and you're going to take punches. You're going to take L's. Like I've never met anyone in life that hasn't had a bad day before, like you're going to have failures. And I think like growing up, my dad was always like, no matter what, like don't quit. Like anything, you're not going to quit. If you fail, that's fine, but you're not going to quit. And like a key thing in my life was I got cut from my hockey team when I was like, I don't know, 9, 10 years old. Because I was a fat kid. I was slower than everyone else. And like most kids at that age, a fat kid, yeah.
Yeah.
And like most kids at that age would just be like, whatever, like it's no big deal. Or they would quit hockey or something like that. But for me, it was like, all right, what am I going to do? How am I going to respond to that failure? So I literally would just work out at like 10 years old. I was doing P90X, trying to lose weight to like make it. And the next year I made the team again. So like that would just taught me from a young age that like if you get knocked down, like you can get yourself out of that hole and like have success. I think that's huge. I think the authenticity is big too. Like don't be the best version that you want to be. Don't be the best version of yourself that somebody else wants you to be. Like in reality, you want to be so self-motivated in life that when you wake up in the morning, like you're loving life. Like I've had, success in other careers where like I wake up and, I'm doing well. My name's on the top of the leaderboard. I'm making money, but like I just don't feel fulfilled in life. And I think that goes from like success or trying to please other people's version of success for me when in reality I wasn't really into it. I think it's just being authentic and like those two things and just be outgoing. Say yes to things. I think in order to have success in life, you have to say yes a lot and saying no can sometimes close doors for you. I think you just have to be open to opportunities because you really never know where your life is. And like a lot of people that are coming out of college, I talked to someone the other day, they're 22, they don't have a job. They're like working at a bar. They're like, I just like feel so lost in life. I'm like, dude, you're 22 years old. You know how crazy life is? You could serve someone at the bar tomorrow that starts $1 billion company. You get hired by them. Like you don't stop stressing so much and just kind of take what life's throwing at you and say yes to things.
That's funny you say that. I mean, this morning I told you Pure Joy McCoy came on the podcast where 8 months ago he started running with the American flag.
Yeah.
Now he's blown up.
Yeah. Now he's on the news and stuff like that. You never know what's going to happen. And it happens so quickly too. Like what you're doing now, like for example, I'm in sales now doing reality TV. My life at 40, I guarantee is going to be so different.
Oh yeah.
Guarantee. My career might be different. The people I have in my life might be different, but like, don't feel like you're in the wrong place at the right time, wrong place at the wrong time. Cause I feel like life just works in a funny way where you always end up being in a good spot at the right time.
Instagram, best place to find you? Yeah,
Instagram at Shawnee McLaughlin. I'm gonna start posting a lot more golf content, and like that's been one of the goals of my kind of personal life recently has been trying to play a lot more golf and get better at it, and then trying to film my journey along the way. So I'll have some more like funny skits around that. But yeah, Shawnee McLaughlin on Instagram.
Cool. Well, nice to meet you, bro. Thanks for coming.
You too, man. I appreciate it. This was fun. Yeah.
We'll do it again after the next 2 or 3 reality TV shows.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully we'll have a lot to talk about.
See you, bro.
See ya.